This video, a slowed plus reverb version of some vibey song, coupled with a looped gif of a Mortal Kombat black guy lighting a ciggy, encapsulates the Apes trilogy. Encapsulates what one would feel watching the Apes trilogy. Underrated is a term used when the ratio of love and recognition a property got is less than what they deserve. The Monkey movies are criminally underrated. I just finished watching the Apes trilogy last night, and I am saddened I didn't see it sooner. Saddened that I even have to make this script because these movies haven't been watched by everyone, like all of them. But what relevance does the video I showed you earlier have, you think? Well, how did it make you feel? Using internet newspeak, we could say the video feels Sigma, based, has a little ziz in them, Peaky Blinders.
Morning, Mr. Freeman.
But what they're all trying to say is that the video makes you feel powerful. Everything about the Apes trilogy is powerful, from its creation to how the movies turned out to the narrative told throughout all three movies. So let's talk about that. It's here where you'll grasp how the trilogy became so underground in the first place. You see, before the first installment, Rise, released, there was Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, which was crap and destroyed any interest in the property. Before that was Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which was crap and destroyed any interest in the property. Both movies, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Apes 1968. All these movies, Planet of the Apes TV series, Return to the Planet of the Apes animated series, the book, comics, with so many installments in the franchise and so many that suck, it was safe for executives to assume that not only were people losing interest in the property, they're tired of it. And when people are tired of a franchise, studios place it in an interesting spot within the shonen tier list. Not profitable. Given this rank, it wouldn't be crazy to think we're never going to see another Apes movie again. But two writers, Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, had dreams of breathing new life into this franchise by literally breathing new life into this franchise, focusing on the apes this time, specifically one ape, Caesar, and starting at the very beginning of the ape takeover. We can only speculate, but I'm confident it was pure vigor and creativity that won over 20th Century Fox, and which pumped out a brand new Apes movie only a decade after the dumpster fire that was Tim Burton's flick. Upon release, the movie did well enough to earn itself a sequel, and with such high demand, it looked to be coming out in the next 2 years or so. But the director, Ryan Howard, refused to do it. It's called being a pansy, and the sequel didn't happen. Except it did. Again, crazy this ever happened. These next movies were directed by Matt Reeves. You might know him, did a few indie hits. Batman. He claimed he wasn't in it for the money, but fair play to you, lad, your movies exceeded the first in every way possible. Cinematographers, VFX artists, even wildlife biologists were involved. Everyone behind the camera did their part and did it beautifully. But the real superstars are the actors. Of course, everyone, but really the monkeys. Most of these dudes were cueless character actors, but they still put their all into their roles, regularly checking in on real monkey experts to ensure accuracy, all while wearing stupid spandex and knowing nobody will even see their face. It's the genuine passion of everyone involved that feels so powerful, or it would be if the final product turned out well. Just kidding. So here See, I know I went on that soapbox earlier on the inspiring story behind the movies and how it's a miracle we got this trilogy in the first place, but the movies did kinda really good in the box office. And with enough paper, we can arrange a couple miracles. You already know. So we're not looking at it from a box office standpoint, but more how the movies themselves turned out. And when it comes to a movie about a virus that gives apes human intelligence and kills off humans so the apes rise up to take over the planet, it's a see it or you'll never believe it kind of deal, so the visuals are crucial. The main look you want to nail are the apes themselves, and on the surface level they already knocked it out the park. All the monkeys look very real, but on top of that they gave them all their own little character design almost, so you could actually tell them apart. Not kidding, my dad walked in on this scene in Dawn and then later on this scene in War and said, "Oh, that's the guy from before." Admittedly, the first movie CGI, while impressive at the time, these days could be used for a game of count the pixel. But it gets a pass because the future movie CGI is actually insane, and because the series doesn't only rely on the pure looks of the apes to sell the spectacle. The movements they all make is for the most part true to their real-life counterparts, and when it becomes more human-like, it's still done in an ape kind of way. This was achieved through motion capture. If you don't know what that is, I don't really know either, but I can infer that it is when actors put special suits that track all movements, which is copied onto a CG model and then inserted onto the scene, replacing the original actor. Not only does this save up a lot of time and money, but the final product moves with all the imperfections of the flesh instead of the eerie smoothness offered by the superior machine. This isn't to take credit away from the VFX artist, by the way. The anatomy of chimps may share a lot of similarities with your mom, but they differ in many areas. The face of a chimp is composed of completely different muscles, for instance, so they needed to program a way to translate the exact emotions of the actor without making it look jank, and they did. The soundtrack speaks for itself. The later two movies were composed by Michael Giacchino, you might know him, Indie Hits, Batman, Spider-Man. Deviating from technicalities a bit, the movie also nails its more abstract visual elements, mainly in that everything on screen has such a strong style. Minus the first movie, every scene has that extra flavor, more froth, mostly due to Matt Reeves. Even the first movie had its own cool visual thingies, but Reeves' cinematography injects so much style into his shots without it getting too arthousey, which can turn a lot of people off.
The second movie opens and closes with close-up shots of Caesar's eyes.
The third movie opens up with a 3-paragraph title crawl that manages to fit in all keywords from the 3 films' titles, with the third smoothly transitioning into the title of the movie. Why? Presentation! But the best part about the style, and this is present in all 3, is how they portray death. They're not overly brutal, but they lack the prettiness, almost, of other movie deaths, even in triumphant beat the bad guy moments. Ouch, that looked like it hurt. Portraying death like this gives more weight to the action of taking a life, and is a really mature route for an action blockbuster to take. Also, all the shots of monkeys rising up and being badass has a style that speaks for itself in this day and age. This scene is literally go hard pics daily. The story of the Apes trilogy sets itself apart from other famous trilogies because it's good the whole way through, but also because of its mastery of micro and macro narratives. The macro narrative would be the large, overarching story told throughout the trilogy, while the micro narrative is the smaller scale stories that start and end with each installment. Every movie tells its own self-contained story, which also contributes to advancing the larger plot. The first is about a person who discovers the oppression of his people and fights to change it. The second is about 2 races learning to find peace, and the third is about someone who needs to prioritize the survival of his people over personal revenge. All of which progress the macro narrative of Caesar discovering what it means to be a leader. The micro narratives are so well executed you could even start with any movie. It's blasphemous, but you could. But bar none, the best feat of the Apes story is how it evolves the definition of power. Starting off simply as the strength to fight back, to learning when to stand firm or give mercy, when to forgive, when to punish. Power is not cultivated through fear, but through respect. Caesar going through a journey before becoming truly powerful inspires the same positivity within me as them gym get fit videos, minus the weird. Becoming powerful isn't instant, it's a process that may take over many years. The message of the monkey movies and this video too, I guess, may be simple and lack deepness, I guess, but when you regularly subjugate yourself to these pee-wee downright embarrassing gunk daily, you'll learn to appreciate the special things that come every once in a while that remind you to stop educating yourself on the leading causes of male pattern baldness, remind you that being weak isn't shameful. Staying weak is.